Whanganui MP Carl Bates has gone under fire for not declaring 25 properties he and his family are linked to. I wasn't going to show this, Magenta.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's fine. You can if you want. This story broke out on thanks to the New Zealand Herald. I'll go into this in a second, but just because we've segued from social media, he had to delete something. Essentially, in a reply to an online debate on the controversy, a commenter said, so he sought advice from the registrar, one of New Zealand's most senior and respected public servants, and acted accordingly to the advice he received. End of story. Keep up the good work, Carl. Except that came from Carl.
Oh my god, where's that Obama meme?
Oh, good. So whoever is in charge of his Facebook account forgot to switch over from that page's account back to their personal account. So it didn't look great. Yeah, it's a terrible oopsie.
Embarrassing.
It is kind of embarrassing, but it's embarrassing probably more so for the staff than it is for him. But to put some perspective, I really appreciated Mountui on this because they pointed out how ridiculous the comparison with Michael Woods is, the Labour MP who was told repeatedly, again and again and again, to declare or to sell up his shares that he had because of a conflict of interest, and it took way too long and it became a big thing because they were just like, just fire him already, quickly, like they would have done it ages ago. It's a conflict of interest, whatever, and it's hypocrisy now. But to put in perspective, the value of Michael Wood's shares was around $12,000, with Bates owning 25 properties. It's speculated that the cost of his 25 properties, apart from the $500,000 in profit. Oh, where is it?
I saw
Bates's portfolio is very. No, it's Bates's portfolio is very conservatively estimated at $8 to $10 million, which would mean that Woods was about 0.14% of what Bates owned.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So.
No wonder they're the fucking party of landlords.
But also just
petting your own ass.
Mountain Tui doing the hard yakka. Hard yards. Bates also benefits from national change in the Bright Line test. Same one that Luxon used to good effect, where he pocketed tax-free sales of $500,000 profit from 2 investment properties sales last year. That was Luxon. He's also benefited from the 138 state homes Chris Bishop cancelled in Whanganui this year. He has significantly benefited from the $3 billion in tax breaks that Luxon gave people like himself in the first term. So
that's insane.
He is. I can't remember what the number was. I think it's something like 75. How many houses he owns? No, it doesn't make any sense. He owns a good number in the area. Yeah, but 25. Yeah. I don't know. And the reason that this is a bit of a an awkward one is because of the way that trusts work in like your portfolios and assets and things. So the MPs must declare any real property in which they have an interest, including property owned by a trust of which they are a beneficiary. But Bates used a grey area, a loophole, the same one that dinged Labour's Michael Woods. Chris Knox writes, Wood was a beneficiary of a trust that owned shares. The registrar argued that he should have, but also noted that the rules may not make it clear that members must, under certain circumstances, declare shareholdings held in trusts. So yeah, a bit of a awkward grey area. But I don't think that if you hold properties and you're making changes to property, asset sales, all of those things, bright line tests, if you're a landlord and you're changing tax rebates, cuts with landlords. You shouldn't. It's a conflict of interest, just as it would as if you were making changes to. It basically puts you in a position that. And I don't know if you can go across the full spectrum of things and say you can't hold any shares in anything, because if you're in government and you hold shares in anything, then you could be benefiting from what your party is doing. Or whether or not it's just if you're in that portfolio in that seat and you hold shares in that, for example, if you're in gas and mining and you hold shares in gas exploration and mining, then it's a conflict of interest, right? But is it a conflict, like, can you hold shares at all? If you're a sitting MP, like there are
to me is kind of like that could be had around that,
because like holding shares is not is just a normal yeah.
Wow, if you're rich,
I have shares. It's like a drop in the bucket, but I have shares. I have sharesies. I put $50 in.
Must be nice. Fuck.
Do it.
See how Magenta. The other half live. No, with what money? Magenta. I don't got $50.
Put $1 in. Put $1 in. It'll grow to $10 by the time you retire. No, Sharesies is democratizing it, or not democratizing it, but yes, no, you should definitely, whenever you possibly can, if you can put $1 in or whatever, I highly recommend it. But yes, no, I totally understand. It's a. When I was in a position where I was able to, I honestly haven't touched it. When I was in a position that I was able to, I did put a little bit into my tiny portfolio of $50.
I personally think there is the argument to be had that like MPs probably shouldn't have, kind of stakes in companies that their policies are affecting, because I think it's just, I don't know, it just feels like a bit yuck. And I think in this specific case, because he very clearly has tried to go around and find a loophole, if anything, that's more disgusting and kind of like unacceptable to me. I'm like, okay, so you knew that you shouldn't really do this, but you found the one way you could kind of get away with it. How the fuck can we trust you to be in our government right now? Like, I think that if people are willing to do that kind of shit, that says a lot about who they are, and it says a lot about how they hold themselves and act in the world. And if that's how they see it, especially in a job where, like, to be honest, I don't know if you watched Kahurangi on last night, but seeing how personally emotionally invested she is in her job, I'm like, we need more of that. Like, sure, we don't want people to be so overly fucking, like, emotionally involved that it becomes to a detriment, of course. Like, we don't want that. But I think that there needs to be more politicians who genuinely want to fucking help. Because that is supposed to be their job. They are supposed to work for us, not the other way around. So, I personally think that he should be reprimanded quite intensely, if not, honestly, kicked off of his spot. Because, I mean, I know Luxon won't, but yeah, I just don't think that he should be, I don't know, it just doesn't give confidence that he is someone that could be trusted.
Yeah.
When he's clearly about self-benefit.
Holding shares is a really strange one. I think the only way that you can do it, like, because obviously, like, what do? Do you sell it? You tell someone to, because KiwiSaver and retirement fund, right? That's still, like, they're not quite the same in a way, but they are also kind of the same.
I mean,
but you can't.
I think because
they aren't the same because they're restricted in use.
They're also supposed to end up replacing our superannuation anyway. Yeah. So and
they're restricted on use, so you can't withdraw. So yeah.
Well, yeah, like, you have to have really good reasons. Like, that's why, like, they've seen an increase, because, yeah, like, I've got a KiwiSaver, but I would not consider that me having stocks and shares in something, because that's just my nationalized plan that they're trying to slowly wean us off of superannuation and do it ourselves. Like, that's what it's always been.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw
But
someone make a
I
comment
don't,
like, "Do I have a KiwiSaver?" I do, but it doesn't count.
not the same. Yeah, I think the only way I can really see it working, probably at least like as a step towards probably a better system in general, is freezing. You should have to freeze your shares and assets for I don't know, like 3 years post you being a minister or like being in parliament, because essentially if you freeze while you're in, but you immediately freeze afterwards, any of the changes you've made, you could easily benefit. But if you're no longer in government 3 years
Yeah,
later,
like a
in
window.
theory, you shouldn't have any political influence anymore. You're not part of it. So that's the only way
Yeah, I
I
think there
can
could
really
be a
see
way
that would be
to.
fair.
I think it could be a way to definitely do that. I just, yeah, it would be one that I think would have to have a lot of talks about, where you set limits and like, because if you can do something like that, that would be great. I just think actively holding something like that is just, especially because if you're actually choosing to invest, like my money goes to my KiwiSaver and it does it how it does. A lot of people aren't like in the weeds of where that money's going. If you know it's going to something that your government are passing through, it's just, yeah, definitely would be good to have a way to, even if it's like, for 10 years it's frozen, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a little fun news.
Yeah.
Just put that out there. There's a lot of news out there, but that was just one that I was like, really, Jesus Christ! Just a reminder: landlords suck.
Scumlord.
Being a property owner,
Scumlord.
being a property owner makes you a piece of shit. I'm sorry, no one needs 25 homes. And I actually no, I posted something on Blue Sky, which was when I saw that story, I made a joke where I was like, oh yeah, it's okay to own 25 homes if you then do it as a rent to buy scheme where you're basically helping people get into their home and then the rent that they're paying basically pays for that. Like if you think that if you're buying out houses and then being a landlord for a social good, the only social good is if you are helping those people then move into their house as a permanent dwelling. Because long-term accommodation, long-term secure accommodation is a foundation of someone's stability in life. And that would be doing a social good. If you're renting it out, that's paying off the mortgage. And then when you sell it, you get capital gains free interest. And it basically pays for your retirement, not the renter's retirement. Yours is the landlord's retirement. You fucked me over and you've benefited. And I've basically paid for your retirement and I haven't got anything to show for it, essentially. So
Also,
if you want to be a good landlord, rent to buy schemes.
Because we have an amazing community. Look what we already got in Discord.
Oh, Jesus.
Peter Syme coming in with the juice tonight. Thank you, Peter. Exactly what I was imagining. And hey, maybe that could be the thumbnail for this segment of our talk.